Alright tech family, if you're wondering why I'm in this room with this weird background behind me, it's the new studio I'm building. It's almost twice the size of the old one. Anyway, Dell recently invited me to one of their press events where they showed me their new products that are being announced. To be honest, I don't normally do videos based on press releases because I feel it just doesn't suit my channel. My whole shtick is that I actually use the devices for a duration of time and then tell you about it. And about halfway through scripting this video, I kind of felt it took me away from doing that. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do announcement videos like this one or stick to real reviews. But since I did go to their event, I thought I'd soldier through and tell you about it. Plus, there was a very cool concept laptop that I saw, one that I believe they, Dell, may not even know how important a device it is. Anyway, let's talk Alienware first. I used to love Alienware laptops. I owned the Alienware 17R3, the 15R2 and the 13R2. I loved their unique look, their high-powered components and their ease of upgradability. Seriously, some of the best laptops I've owned. Unfortunately, I found that Alienware's recent focus on chasing a thin chassis with their new X series was a bit of a step in the wrong direction, for me at least. Ports were all around the back and hard to plug stuff into, small trackpads, poor audio, and lots of other usability issues. So I made it very clear to Dell that they had to promise me that they had addressed some of these issues before I made the journey to their event. And for the most part, I liked what I saw. The first big change for 2023 is the screen sizes. When it comes to the X series, which is their thinner, more portable series, you still have the 14-inch model, but it now comes with a higher resolution 2560 by 1600 fast refresh rate display. For their larger models, they are increasing the screen sizes, launching a new X16 model with a 16-inch screen, which I believe will replace the X15. For their full-sized M series laptops, there will now be a 16-inch model and an 18. This I like, as I truly believe larger screens make the gaming experience more immersive. I was hoping the larger panels would slot into the same size chassis by reducing the bezel around the screen and the chin below it. But from what I can see from the press info, these new laptops are physically larger than the 15-inch and 17-inch laptops that they are replacing. By the way, all these new laptops have a 16:10 aspect ratio display. When it comes to the performance, the X14 will use Intel's 13th gen with up to NVIDIA 4000 series graphics, drawing a max of 85 watts of power. The X16, M16 and M18 will all be offered with both Intel 13th gen and the latest Ryzen processors, plus latest NVIDIA and AMD graphics. By the way, the new X16 can drive its graphics with a max of 175 watts of power, which is a lot. The thicker M16 and M18 both have a 4-fan cooling solution, which Dell claims almost 25% more airflow. I will have plenty of videos coming out testing all the new hardware, so make sure you're subscribed for that. But you aren't watching one of my videos, so I can just read specs off a press release for you. You can do that yourself. The reason I'm making this video is because I actually went to the event and used the laptops. So the first big change that I personally experienced was the sound on the X16. I was completely blown away. It has a new 6-speaker setup. Folks, I believe these speakers could be the best I've ever heard on a laptop, even better than on a MacBook Pro 16. Obviously, I will need to test them side by side in the studio to confirm that. Unfortunately, the M16 and M18 do not have the same new speaker setup as the X16, which I think is a huge shame. All three of them, the X16, M16 and M18, boast Dolby Atmos certification. Dolby Atmos is the technology that uses a height channel to bounce sound off the roof, so it kind of sounds like you are being surrounded by audio. This is commonly employed by soundbars. I asked the Dell reps if this was indeed the technology being employed here, and they seemed a little hazy. So again, I'll make sure to check this in my full review. Next is the chassis itself. Good news here on several fronts. This year's models are substantially more comfortable to hold. When you held the Alienware laptops from last year or the year before, like this one, especially from the back, the light bar would cut into your hands, which was very uncomfortable. That's because it was at a sharp angle. This year, it is no longer at an angle, so it is more comfortable to hold. In fact, the laptops now have rounded edges and are softer, so pretty much more comfortable to hold from every angle. And the laptops are now easier to open with one hand. Plus, the chassis of the X series looks absolutely stunning. There is also a new rubber foot design, which makes it more comfortable if you are using the laptop on your lap. Most gaming laptops that are very heavy have large rubber feet to raise the laptop off the table for airflow. These feet tend to cut into your leg under the weight of that heavy gaming laptop. This new design does indeed make it more comfortable on your lap. I tried it. By the way, that being said, please don't use these laptops on your lap if you are doing any high performance tasks. They will get very hot. The touchpads have also gotten an upgrade, with the X16, M16 and M18 all being around 15% larger than the X17 from last year. Unfortunately, the X14 still has the same size trackpad as the model for 2022, which I believe is too small. The next big change is that Alienware have completely rebuilt their command center software. If you've ever used an Alienware recently, you'll know that the software they come with is just awful. Very hard to change performance modes, key color, etc. They gave me a demo and the new software seemed very intuitive and responsive. Again, I'll test this more thoroughly in my full review. These laptops will be on sale with Intel's 13th gen processor and Nvidia graphics in Q1, AMD likely second half of the year. Now, here are some things I don't like. The thinner X series laptops do not have upgradable RAM. They're still soldered with a max of 32, and all their ports are still round the back, which in the case of these laptops makes them unusually hard to access. There is this blindingly bright light bar around them, which makes it very hard to see where to plug stuff into. Alienware claims the X series is the thinnest gaming laptop, which is probably the reason why there are no ports on the side. But let me say this. I think that for most people looking for a high-powered gaming laptop, they don't care about it being the thinnest. I think we are okay with it being a little fatter if it results in having better cooling, upgradable RAM, and some ports on the side for convenient access. I mean, heck, look at the MacBook Pro 16. It got thicker than its predecessor, but you hear no fan noise at all from it for most things. I think people appreciated that a lot more, and it has been widely successful. Now, Alienware does have the thicker M series, which solves a lot of these issues, but then you miss out on the awesome new speaker setup of the X16. Lastly, none of these laptops have an option for a 4K screen, which I believe will be a turnoff for some people. Many of my viewers use these laptops for more than just gaming, i.e. they like to edit videos on these laptops because they are super powerful and look sexy, or they are doing something like programming, but like to game on the side. I would have loved to see Alienware offer a 4K panel on these laptops, particularly for the larger 18-inch model. A max resolution of 2560 by 1600 really isn't that high on such a large screen. People sit quite close to a laptop screen, and if you are working with a lot of text like coding or spreadsheet work, you may see some pixelation. That is if you're a pixel peeper like I am. Okay, let's wrap. Overall, there are many steps forward here, and it is clear that Dell have addressed several things that we owners have brought up. Sound quality is better, at least on the X16. Alienware's terrible software is being fixed. The trackpads are larger, the laptop is more comfortable to hold, and there is better cooling, and I think we can safely assume better performance. Make sure you're subscribed, as I'll be getting some of these into the studio for full reviews. That's when we'll really see what these new laptops are actually like. Before I go, I said at the beginning that Dell may have something on their hands that they really may not know how important and special it is. While I was at the event, Dell asked if I wanted to see this concept laptop that was better for the environment. I immediately replied that while I care a lot about the environment, I do. I don't think it's the most pressing thing for my audience. A lot of folks who watch my channel are having trouble affording a new laptop to begin with. But then I had a spare moment at the end and gave them a chance. They showed me something called Project Luna. It's a fully modular laptop that makes it easy to repair, so less of the laptop goes to waste. The repair of the laptop is so easy that it can be done by a robot. There isn't even any cables, it's all assembled by modules. Repairability is important for sure, but what I think is more important is that it can make the laptop upgradable, so long as Dell offers new hardware modules for sale. This is something we will go nuts for. It will definitely cut down on waste, as people will keep the laptop for longer, and it will take stress out of the buying decision, as you know you can upgrade your laptop later on. Framework is already doing something similar, but obviously that's a much smaller company. This will be huge if Dell brings it to market. It will be a big reason to choose Dell over any other major brand. Oh, and I did sneakily notice that the keyboard on the Project Luna laptop is very similar to the excellent one on the XPS 13 Plus, but has a physical function row rather than the awful touch bar-like one that laptop has. Fingers crossed the XPS 13 Plus for 2023 will get physical function buttons. That's my hope. Alright, I'm done here. Back to setting up this new studio. If you like this video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and get subscribed. It shows your appreciation for the insane amount of effort that goes into making these, even this one. And as I always say, it makes my mother very proud. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.